Someone's gotta say it, but Kanye West does not make clothes anymore. He makes garbage, and I can't believe people are still buying it. As a lover of Kanye West art for many years, really since the day that Gold Digger came out, my mom used to play it on the radio and would lower the volume when Kanye would swear. And I remember thinking that was cool that my mom was listening to rap back then. And of course, as I got older, I started to listen to more of his music on my own. Graduation came out when I was in middle school or maybe late elementary school. And I remember that time being a really instrumental part of me getting into what became modern hip hop and the sound that it evolved into. And Kanye West was there at the forefront of all of it. Continuing along, getting into sneakers, I'm getting into fashion. I start to see the trends and this one man at the forefront of this innovation, whether it's Louis Vuitton, Nike, later Adidas, high fashion, streetwear. It was all a part of the deal with Kanye. But now in a post Adidas collab and a Kanye controversial era, the bully era, we're calling it apparently, things have changed. And I think they've changed more for the worse than for the better. And in this video, I'm telling you guys why I think Kanye does not make good clothes anymore and why I will not be buying any of his stuff anytime soon. No one else was talking about it, so I figured,
fine. I'll do it myself.
Let's get into it. If you guys are interested in copying the latest from New Balance and Champ Sports, be sure to go to the description of this video, click on my affiliate link at the top, and you will be taken to newbalance.com. I get a small commission on anything that you purchase on the website. Right here, they are running a promotion where you can receive 20% off on orders above $100. So pretty good deal if you need some new sneakers to start off the new year. Same thing goes for Champ Sports. Just go down here to my description, click the Champ Sports affiliate link. You will be taken then to champsports.com. They also have some sales at up to 50% off. Of course, if you sign up for FLX rewards, you get even more discounts available. Thank you to Champs and a New Balance. Now let's get back into the video. All right, so what went wrong with Kanye? We'll start back at the beginning and then work our way to the present. This is going to be a fairly broad strokes video, so I'm not going to get into the nitty-gritty details of every single arc of Kanye's fashion journey, but we're going to start with why he had so much acclaim in the industry to begin with. I think it really starts out with the Louis Vuitton stuff. Back in the graduation, 808s and heartbreak era, Kanye was known as a rapper wearing designer clothes. Simple as that. Of course, you had rappers in the early 2000s, 50 Cent, Nelly, Puff Daddy,
Booty sweat, popping ass open,
wearing things like Gucci, and it was common, it was happening. But Kanye really took that cutting edge, high level French fashion and brought it into the scene. You can see pictures of him with people like Jasper, even Virgil Abloh, Pharrell Williams, and they were really in their own lane, making moves and styling these clothing items for an audience that was not used to that type of clothing. This was stuff for rich Europeans, not for an American rapper based out of Chicago. So that was really cool. He even collaborated with Louis Vuitton on a series of sneakers like the Louis Vuitton Dons, which was one of his monikers. The Jaspers being one of my favorite pairs, especially in that peach and bright pink colorway. I can still remember Big Sean's Finally Famous Volume 3 mixtape artwork featuring those Louis Vuitton Kanye collaboration sneakers and just thinking, damn, those are freaking cool. That was, I believe, 2008 or 9. Later that year or the next, we had the Air Yeezy 1. So Nike had signed its first non-athlete signature deal, which was actually a really big deal. No pun intended. The Air Yeezys ended up being an overnight success, and they now sell for well into the thousands or high hundreds for even very used pairs. I still would love to get my hands on a set of Tans or Nets, but I'm not holding my breath. Apparently the soles on those are also failing, which is sad, but that is what happens when you have a pair of sneakers that's well over 15 years old at this point, which is just nuts to think about. And Nike was really really where Kanye found himself at the forefront of sneaker and hypebeast culture. It was in 2012 when the Air Yeezy 2 was slated to release, and this was my peak of sneaker fandom, I think. I was making videos on this very channel. If you guys go to oldest and scroll back, you can find high school age Thomas talking about sneakers, reviewing them, even a couple Supreme videos on there. Definitely some cringe stuff, but it's where I was at. I love doing it, and I still am here to this day talking sneakers, talking fashion, and I can't describe to you what it meant seeing the release of the Air Yeezy 2s. You really had to be there, and I'm not trying to gatekeep. I'm not trying to sun anybody, but yes, I guess I am a hypebeast unk at this point. At 29 years old, I suppose I qualify for that senior citizen status. But nonetheless, it was crazy. I remember being on my mom's laptop in my room on my bed waiting for Nike store to tweet that link, and tweet it they did, and boy oh boy did the bots have a feast. I actually have a friend who managed to cop them manually, and he sold them the next day or the next week whenever he got them in hand for like $3,000. Can you imagine having that amount of resale on a day one release in today's era? It really only happens at the very selective, extremely low volume, and maybe once or twice a year. It's really nothing like the Yeezy 2s. You just can't compare it. The cultural zeitgeist was all about Kanye. Everything he touched turned to gold. There was an Air Max 90 pack, the Independence Days, red, white, and blue. Solid colorway of sneaker. He wore the red ones on stage while performing. He wore the white ones. People went nuts. The prices on those sneakers skyrocketed. They were not sought after before that. They just went. I could go on a tangent of pieces that Kanye has worn, and I'll probably put some on screen, but anytime he wore something, it just went up. It was dope. It was awesome. And being there, a fan of his music, and seeing him style and show people what it meant to be cool. And maybe it sounds like I'm glazing a little bit, and maybe I am, but you can't deny that Kanye is a genius when it comes to fashion and when it comes to music. But one thing's for sure, and this is really undeniable if you have a brain and are able to use critical thinking, but Kanye West has himself a bit of an ego, and he didn't feel like Nike was giving him enough creative freedom even after dropping the Red Octobers, which I think the Red October drop was kind of at the very tail end of his career with Nike because he wanted more design freedom. He wanted to step outside of the box and not have to use maybe parts of sneakers that were already created, because the thing about the Air Yeezys was they weren't original Kanye West designs. They used parts of different sneakers like Andre Agassi's Air Tech Challenge 2s. The Air Yeezy 1's midsole is almost entirely the same thing as the Air Jordan 3. Yes, Kanye had input on these, and I'm sure he especially did on the colorway because they are very similar to a lot of the stuff he was doing with Louis not that much before that. But the point is, Kanye wanted to go beyond. He wanted to be his own boss. He wanted to hashtag girl boss it up, baby. Yes, Kanye, slay queen, we want you to do that. So what's he do? He leaves Nike, peace, and goes over to the arch nemesis, Adidas. Once with Adidas, Kanye really started cooking. He came out with the Yeezy 750s, which was such an awesome shoe that I really feel like they didn't drop enough of. They only did 2 or 3 colorways, really not much at all. And then, of course, the Turtle Dove 350 Boost, which just takes off, becomes this cultural phenomenon yet again, not to the same level as Air Yeezy 2, but to a different type of level. The peaks weren't as high because they weren't as limited. That was part of Kanye's strategy. He wanted to have more availability.
But just be patient because we'll make more Yeezys. Eventually, everybody who wants to get Yeezys will get Yeezys. Adidas has promised me that.
I do know that Yeezys were really great financial strategy for a lot of people to resell and make money. You know, a lot of people bought these and did very well. The Adidas Yeezy line came out when I was a freshman in college, so it was a very pivotal moment for me yet again, where I was discovering that type of fashion starting into my 20s. And we'll skip over most of Adidas because for more or less, it was pretty good. Like everything everything else before it, Kanye had a vision. He had an idea of what he wanted to do and continued on with the Life of Pablo tour, the rollout of that album, the merch. I had some, it was sick. I'm sure a lot of you did too. And the Yeezy colorways kept coming. They kept coming until Kanye reached a breaking point with not only his mental health, but the partnership with Adidas. All of a sudden, it was too much yet again, and he needed to branch out. And that's where we're gonna go into the modern era. Now that we've caught up with everything, I definitely went into more detail than I expected, but I really wanted to paint the picture that Kanye West made good clothes. He made good sneakers. All these designs were cool. And what is he doing now? Here is what you see when you go to YeezySupply.com. You have a bunch of generic screen printed clothing in one of 3 colors, available at $20 a pop. And these are the latest sneakers, if you can even call them that. The SL01s, and this is all you get on the website. You have a size 2 through a size 16. I'm assuming there's a size chart right here. There you go, European sizes. And we lost the plot. I don't know what happened with Kanye, but here's what I think. First, we have to talk about the Yeezy brand, which is one of the most confusing brands on planet Earth, and it's because it's Kanye's brand. Season 1 was a collaboration with Adidas. It was, I think, the one that Lil Yachty styled. No, that was season 3. I'm on Wikipedia right now reading it. Season 2 debuted at New York Fashion Week. There we go. Influenced by Japanese workwear. It was pretty sick. Season 3 was the Life of Pablo era of clothing. Season 4, predominantly women's wear, as I think that's when he got the porn stars involved. Season 5, New York Fashion Week. 3 Stripes logo was featured on several pieces, so he's still rocking with Adidas at season 5. Season 6 did not have a runway show. Kim K modeled for them. Yes, that's right. Same with season 7. And then season 8 was Wyoming Ranch, so he was doing the Bipolar album. And then things just start going crazy. At this point, I don't really know what's happening with Kanye. He does the Yeezy Gap collaboration. I didn't think it was that cool, but a lot of people liked it because it was affordable and he was creating basic clothing that was well styled, easy to get, good colors, utilitarian, etc., etc. But I think once the Adidas collab ceased to exist, once Kanye started speaking out on all his stuff and the contract was terminated in 2022, it's just been downhill from there. Let's be real. Let's talk about the Yeezy Pods. So I'm not sure if this was the first introduction of the Yeezy Pods, but it was definitely up there. And here's our little video that we get.
Introducing Yeezy Pods.
Yes.
Available now at Yeezy.com.
There you go. So the Yeezy Pods are a sneaker sock hybrid that for some reason I ended up buying. I think I really wanted to see what they looked like at $20, and let me show you guys. So here's the Yeezy Pod. I mean, you get what you pay for. You get these 2 pods of synthetic material with a synthetic sock-like material on the upper of the shoe. Quotations definitely needed for that. It's weird. I still don't really know how you're supposed to wear these. They're kind of a casual sneaker. They're kind of a weird thing. You wear them with pants. Do you wear them with shorts? I don't really know. I've worn them like 4 times because they're not all that comfortable and they're just kind of bizarre. But the biggest problem was no one got them in time. It was insane. It was a February 2024 order. I think I got mine in was it August? I don't think it was that late, but it was a while. And this problem was shared by a lot of people, not only on Reddit, but Twitter, all forms of social media, and they eventually even got removed from the website following the Super Bowl Sunday in 2024, I think. I'm not exactly sure. Yeezy even faced a $950,000 shipping delay lawsuit that I don't know the outcome of, but it's never great to be hit with one of those unlawful business practices lawsuits. Definitely not something you seek out to do when you're starting your own brand. I'm gonna stop with the overgeneralization, the backtracking the history. Let's just use our eyes and look at what's ahead of us. These clothes are not all that great, guys. I will say this, $20, yeah, it's great to have clothes at a cheap price. Who doesn't like a good deal? Am I right? But the point is, do you really want to be subscribing to this disposable, throwaway, cool for 3 months, lame shortly after, contributing to cheap materials, arguably uninspiring, basic and boring designs? I just don't want to be a part of it. And of course, nobody is forcing me or any of you to buy any of this stuff. And I'm sure a few of you watching this video will argue against me, and I'd love to hear your comments down below on why you don't think this is garbage. But I think Kanye could be doing something so much better, and that's why I'm being critical. I know he still has the brain for design, and I don't know what he's doing right here. Making the most affordable clothing for people that can't afford even streetwear or high fashion, that's actually cool. And I don't mind if that's his objective, but I really don't think it is. I really don't, guys, unfortunately. I think he's just caught up in his own world of ideology, controversy, and whatever he's doing teaming up with Gosha Rubinsky. I don't know much about that guy, but if you do even cursory research on him, you can see that he is, well, let's just say a bit of a creep. Probably not the best guy you want on your team. Kanye says otherwise. So what was even the point of this video? I think mostly the point of this video was to state that I really think people are not using critical thinking when they're looking at Kanye's current designs. A lot of people are touting it for being cheap and affordable and are just kind of pointing out like, oh, it's cool, it's got monotone colors, it's Kanye's new mood, it's what he's into right now, he's rebelling, and maybe it's a way to buy his merch and rally against cancel culture. I don't know what people are saying. I don't always have my finger on the pulse. But in my eyes, I've just seen unfortunate degradation in Kanye West's designs. I don't know how much he is being involved on this new merch. I assume very involved, given that he is still posting constantly, directly advertising this stuff on the Super Bowl and other areas, social media. He's made a resurgence on Instagram. Complaining about the SEO, I'll admit, was pretty funny, so I'll give him some thumbs up for that. But at the end of the day, I'm not interested in fast fashion t-shirts for $20 and weird synthetic slippers that might take 3 months to get to my house. This is not interesting to me. At this point in my life, I'm not trying to buy trendy or cheap. I'm trying to buy clothing that will last, that I can be a fan of for a long time. And do I still cave into my hypebeast tendencies? Sure. I'm a Supreme focused YouTube channel. I cover week to week Supreme drops and forget probably 70% of what I talk about each week. But that doesn't mean I can't be critical on Kanye. And overall, guys, I just think Kanye West does not make good clothes anymore. And I hope he changes. I hope he brings back some of that hype that we've come to know and love from him. If you guys enjoyed the video, leave a like. If you didn't, leave a dislike and comment why I was right or why I was wrong. See you in the next one. Check out Champ Sports and New Balance down below. Peace.